Hey, what is up, everyone? We got something weird at the bottom. Flash Freak is coming back in again, I guess. So let's
yeah, my God.
That's weird, right at the beginning.
Wow.
Right at the beginning.
He did the the whole reverse flash
multiverse confirmed. Multiverse confirmed.
Yeah. And we have Andy. Yes, Andy is here.
Hello.
This is a massive stream. We have I've never had 2 rows of cameras to deal with at the bottom of StreamYard. That's quite interesting there. Anyway, so yes, welcome. We have a lot of people. Let me go through and introduce everyone that's here quickly. So we have 3Dub here next to me. We have Taz, who is the first time here on the channel. Thank you so much for being here, Taz. We have down below me, we have Chainsaw Reacts, and for the first time as well, Omni Media, who I've been watching his channel for ages. I'm so glad to have him here with us. And all the way from the after party spinoff, we have Taj Reacts over there on the side.
What's going on?
Have him. You see him on Lance's stream. We have Flash Freak, who hasn't been here in a minute, but it's good to have him here as well. And we have Andy. Andy is here from the Multiverse of Color, Flash Pie. Well, you know where Andy's from. He's got a million things. And we just had another person step in. Look at this. Canada Grass has arrived. So,
oh no.
This is
looks like the Brady Bunch screen.
It is. I knew it was gonna be like this. So because of that reason, let's see if I can even get a banner down at the bottom here. This is gonna be tough here.
Is PG coming?
Here we go. No, he's not. But we there's a couple other people I invited. I think Darren got an invitation, but I think he's working, and a few other people. I invited a ton of people, so we'll see who shows up here. Anyway, so we have all of our guests here today, and this is gonna be wild. I've never had this many people on screen before, but it's a packed stream. So if you want us to read a comment, guaranteed, and I'm not saying this is the only way it's going to happen, leave a super chat because it goes over into my little box so I can see it and then respond to it. So if you would like to do that, please utilize the super chat. Wait, there's one missing. How's that? What in the world? Okay. Anyway.
Welcome to StreamYard.
Yeah. There's one missing. So I don't know if you know this or not, and this is probably not important to anybody that's watching this, but they've got a fan funding tab now on YouTube chat, which makes it really easy to keep up with who's sending chat. So
you still can't bring the super chat up on screen like you can on StreamYard, but at least now you know it exists.
Yeah.
All I see is private chat, comments, live, and shared. Starred.
Yeah, it doesn't come up on StreamYard for some reason, but you can, if you have your YouTube open, you can see it there. All right, so let's get into what this stream is about. Okay, so this is a Arrowverse stream of love, and basically what I mean is we're going to be talking about the stuff that we really enjoy from the Arrowverse, because now it is quote unquote officially over, but Superman and Lois is going to continue the tradition of that DC TV vibe that we're used to having as a Arrowverse spinoff, I guess is probably the best way to put that. I know people argue about it.
That's what decides to write out for tax write-downs.
Yeah. We got the renewal of Superman and Lois. And before we get into this Arrowverse stuff, everybody's thoughts on this. Superman and Lois is coming back for season 4. It's going to be 10 episodes. I'm going to try something here at the beginning and throw the bone out there for who wants to take this one. What do we think about this? Are we happy about this? Or?
Thank God. Yeah.
Had they not said that it's a cliffhanger ending,
they
I might have been like, okay, if it's not renewed, it's not renewed. But if they were like, we're going to leave you hanging off a ledge and we'll never follow up on it, and they're going to Legends us twice, I'm going to leap off a cliff.
It's basically like a double-edged sword. Oh yeah, you get 10 episodes, but we're losing cast members and we're cutting the budget. I'm happy the show's continuing. I think they should have just confirmed it's the final season. I mean, come on, they keep cutting episodes. I'm happy. I love the show, but I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. I'm surprised.
It feels like Teen Wolf episode counts. There's 12 and then there's 10 for some seasons, and then there's they split the season in 2 parts, which would be 10 and 10, which would be 20.
Yeah. I guess I don't know, but I'm happy for him to be back, though. I mean, I feel like if they would have ended on a cliffhanger with Lex Luthor and then didn't pay that off, there would have been a revolt of epic proportions within the community. All right, so I'm going to start off. We got 3 super chats. Let's jump through those, and then we will get into some topics here. The first one is from the No Strings podcast with Rel Simon. Arrowverse, and this is the one I can't pull up on screen, unfortunately. Arrowverse was transcendent. The number of shows and stars that helped create bigger comic book fans out of all of us. Can't believe it's finished. And I would agree with that. I know a lot of people who learned about these characters, like the Flash and Green Arrow and, you know, the characters from Legends, specifically from getting introduced to the Arrowverse and then going out and becoming comic book fans later. Have you guys experienced anything like that with your fans, people that were like introduced to these heroes through these shows? Like they don't know a lot about the comics, but they really just love the shows. Is that something that you noticed during your time basically running making content and running content for the Arrowverse?
I mean, that was me. I didn't really know much about superheroes before I got into the Flash. I mean, there was the cartoons when I was younger, but I didn't really know like Marvel and DC. I didn't know they were 2 separate things. I thought they were all just the same thing. And it was funny. Right before I saw the Flash is when I started getting to Injustice. So I started kind of like, oh, these guys are cool, but no, really the show, the Arrowverse, was my introduction to these characters.
Yeah. What about you, Taj? What are your thoughts on this? Did you were you making a lot of Arrowverse content, or when did you start really putting everything together on your channel? Was it at the beginning?
I started around the last full year of Arrowverse, so like before everything got canceled. But similar, like I got back into comics through the Arrowverse. Stopped reading them for a while. You know, some things was happening in life, but I got back into it through the Arrowverse. So
yeah, all right. And I know Canada Graphs, you were the person with the eyes on the seed for everyone. You were providing all the content for everybody. How does it feel for you knowing that like those nights of camping out all night long and all the trips you have to do? Are you relieved from that? Or are you going to miss like the hustle and bustle?
A little bit of both.
Shows? Yeah. Honestly,
a little bit of both, because I mean, there is definitely some downsides to it. I mean, I think anyone that follows the show has noticed if they didn't know it was in Vancouver, they definitely could tell by the on-screen presence. It's damp and cold at night in Vancouver for 75% of the filming season. So being out in that is definitely not a joy. But
because apparently you can just wear a leather jacket and
I still, as long I know it's like Chainsaw's favorite character, but I will always give props to John Core because I know that big fight scene in the finale. It was -7 Celsius that night, and he was out there in that. I don't care how much you dislike the character. You have to tip your hat to that guy. But yeah, for me, I mean, it's part of my business, right? Like my business has always adapted from one thing to the next thing, but this has been part of my business now for a 10-year span. Yeah. I mean, Superman and Lois is still going to carry it, but Superman and Lois is a very small fraction of that. The Flash and Arrow and Supergirl were predominantly the majority of it, and they're all gone now. You know, sure, I'll be happy not to be out at 2 a.m. when it's pouring rain and 2 degrees. I'll be happy with that part. But I am going to miss the fact that, I losing part of my business, and a lot of these cast members I had a great rapport with. A lot of the crew I had a great rapport with, despite what Twitter wants to tell you.
Oh, don't believe Twitter. We have multi-topic talk with a $2.20 super chat. Glad to see that many guests. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I've been working to put together. I know a lot of the people here that I talked with early on, we had to really work things out to make sure that everybody, or the majority of people that I wanted to be here, were available. So I'm glad so many people were actually here. We have Ben 10 Big with a $5 super chat. I started watching when I was in primary school, and now I'm leaving secondary school. It was my childhood. It taught me about The Flash. That's quite interesting. I know a lot of people who said I mean, you have to remember, this was a decade. This was a decade of TV shows. 20 years. And if you throw Smallville in there, that's even longer. So it's been a long time, honestly. How do you feel about this, Taz? Is it a little bittersweet for you? I mean, like this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big like superhero fan pretty much my entire life. I've watched the animated shows, I've watched, you know, any comic book movie I could see at the time, and when the Arrowverse started, I wasn't here right at the beginning, unfortunately. Kind of jumped in a little bit later on around the time of Flash season 2. But that's kind of when things really picked up, and I was like, oh, this is something really special. I kind of changed the entire direction of my channel. I started with like gaming stuff. I swapped over to just covering these shows that I was enjoying so much. And I think the fact that it's created such a massive community around it, that, you know, the fact that all of us can be here and talk about just like a collective thing that we all love so much, that we've decided to just like devote a massive part of our channels to. So I think it's definitely a bittersweet end, but something that I've said before, I don't feel like it's a goodbye, more of like a see you later for the Arrowverse.
Exactly. I'll agree with that, because I think we're getting some stuff around the corner that's going to be really exciting, you know, very soon, hopefully. So Omni Media. So I've been watching your channel off and on for a while now, and you cover a lot of content. Like, you got a very wide variety of things that you talk about. How do you feel about like finally no longer having to do like video content about the Arrowverse? Is it something that you like? No, I'm just saying, because I'm going to finish. Let me finish my statement here, because I will say that my style of doing videos was basically review videos, and I got to the point where I just disliked that style of video, and I felt like I was kind of sort of boxed in a little bit because of that, even though I love talking about it. But for channels that do a lot of like a variety of stuff, like reactions, and I'm going to ask Chainsaw about this as well, that do like reaction videos and stuff like that. Dealing with like copyright issues and things like that, it has to be a big deal and a big hassle. Like with using clips and stuff, did you ever feel like the Arrowverse was the juice worth the squeeze with a lot of this content? Did you love it that much, or was it something where you ever got to the point where it was like, I have to deal with, you know, clip police and everything again?
For me, Chainsaw probably has a different experience than this, because he's been doing this longer than I have. When I came in, WB really never bothered me all that much. Okay. And if they did, if I pushed back at all, they usually would let it go. Yeah. So I honestly haven't had that much trouble with WB TV for the most part. So the clip stuff hasn't been too big of an issue for me when I came in. But as far as like, I've been watching the shows like on my own. I think since I started actively watching in Arrow season 2, because when the first season came out, I was still like, that's not my Smallville guy.
No, that's not Justin Hart. Like, no way.
Yeah. And then my buddy was like, dude, you got to watch Arrow. And I was like, it's on Netflix. I guess I'll watch it. And I binged it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And dove right into season 2.
Netflix was the gateway drug for a lot of people when it comes to the Arrowverse, dude. So
that was I think that's one thing people always like, oh, this got this many ratings. I was like, oh yeah, well, what's the viewership on Netflix?
Right.
Nobody's talking about that.
There's a reason why. That's the reason why that $1 billion deal was done back in 2015, 2016, was because of the success of those shows on Netflix. Now, Chainsaw, let's talk about your stumbling time through the Arrowverse. Obviously, you enjoyed the shows, right? And you had to deal with copyright stuff. But even through all of that, and I want your opinion on that, what do you think the most fulfilling show for you has been as a viewer? Like, which one did you enjoy reacting to the most over the years?
That's a tough question. I think personally, if we're talking viewership wise, in terms of like what was getting the most response from audiences who were connecting with my videos, The Flash. Arrow, personally, I felt was the one that I really loved the most, even though we're not talking negative stuff. I'm not going there.
No, you can if you want to drop it, go for it.
Arrow, I attempted to start reacting to The Flash season 2 and Arrow season 4, and that was copyright issues left and right. And I wasn't really reacting to TV much. But Arrow was the one. And in terms of copyright, I remember, not many people do, the what I call block gate of 2018, where literally I woke up one morning. Yeah, because literally I checked my email and there are 30 Arrowverse videos blocked in like a minute or two. Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, all were hit. And then it took Warner Brothers several days to release the videos.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when Discovery came in at the last minute, when the Arrowverse is slowly going away, that's when they're like, nope, if we claim your video, we're not releasing it.
Yeah.
But it's been a crazy journey of just dealing with copyright with Warner Brothers at times, but it was fulfilling to do it because I really love the shows for the most part. And even the episodes I disliked, it was still fun to put the videos out because people were agreeing with a lot of the things that I had issues with. So it was worth it. And I'm going to miss it because it was a huge part of my channel. I haven't fully processed that it's over. It feels weird.
I feel the same way. Yeah. But what did you say your favorite was? Arrow? Is that the one that you said was your favorite? Okay. So let's go down the line here. I'm curious to see what everybody's answer to this is. 3Dub, your favorite Arrowverse show, and tell me your favorite character. Like, what's your favorite show? What's your favorite character?
Well, to be honest,
it doesn't have to be on the same show. I just want favorite show. Character.
I'm an Arrowverse adjacent favorite show, and that's Smallville.
Okay.
So like nothing can top it for me. Smallville is like my goat. So yeah.
And would you say that version of Clark is your favorite character as well?
Yes, except for
I'm just
Tyler
I mean, it could be Chloe's character, right? Chloe, you like her?
I separate the actress from.
All right, fair enough. Taz, what about you down there? Like, go ahead, Omni.
I was gonna say, let's cut the Smallville out of it.
Yeah.
Make a choice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Make a choice about Arrowverse. Specific.
They're putting you on the spot. 3Dub.
Arrowverse
from the Arrowverse.
Arrowverse in general. Okay, let's see. Season
it can't be that hard. Come on, everybody's got their favorite. Come on.
Let me think. I'm thinking it's like hard. I'm literally an Arrowverse fan. I don't like have to pick the favorite.
Well, just okay. We'll round back to you. Think about it for a second.
Yeah, I'm
Taz,
thinking that.
you favorite show, favorite character.
I would definitely have to say Arrow is my favorite show. Favorite character, I know it's kind of a cop-out answer, but I got to go with Oliver. Like you can't downplay Stephen Amell's role in that. It was amazing.
There we go.
So
got it.
Chainsaw, you said favorite show, but do you have a favorite character?
He already said it. I mean,
Oliver.
Yeah, once Steven came back for that Flash episode, that pretty much cemented that I missed this character so much because. Yeah, he wasn't playing exactly Oliver because he was also playing the Spectre, but that is what I was missing. It was amazing. But I mean, a close second is Grant's Barry. I mean, it is. He has made that character his own in a sense. And when I think of the Flash, I think of him immediately. I don't think of the comics first.
I agree. I agree. Omni, you're up next. Favorite show, favorite character from the Arrowverse.
Felicity.
Oh
no, just kidding.
Hold on, just give me a second here, guys. I just got to unsubscribe from somebody.
No. In all seriousness, I changed my backdrop for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm spouting my boy, Oliver, and Arrow simultaneously. My Canada daddy, Stephen Amell.
There you go. That's the best one to have. 3Dub, you got an answer yet?
Yes.
Okay,
Flash,
go for it. We're gonna
also, my favorite character is Spectre.
Oh, okay. There we go. Taj, putting you on the hot seat. You're up next. Favorite show, favorite character.
Definitely Arrow. It was the most consistently good throughout the years. And Roy was actually my favorite character.
Man, that's a good choice.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Very underutilized character. I feel like he could have been so much more on that show if they would have done some more. But yeah, that's a really good answer. You got me thinking now. People, that bottom row outside the box. Come on.
Come on.
I'm going to ask this question, even though your screen name is Flash Freak. But what was your favorite show and your favorite character?
Well, my favorite show is obviously The Flash, and favorite character, I mean, gotta go with either Baby Jenner or Seal.
There we go.
My favorite character is probably. At the beginning was Cisco, then kind of shifted to Barry.
Okay.
Yeah. Going Cisco left.
Go Cisco.
So,
I can vibe with that.
Andy, these are all your babies. I know you love all of these shows and all of these characters. So this is a tough one. But do you have a favorite show?
A strong word when it comes to Legends of Tomorrow, but okay.
So, favorite show, favorite character at all of these shows?
I mean, I can't say anything other than Fly, but I know people could be like, "Oh my god," because he's a chill. But so be it. The amount of times I've had to hear that word said to me this entire season, but at the same time, people will be like, "We know you're chill, but can you please give us some spoilers?" I'm like, "No."
Right. It's the buttering up. It's the buttering up for
it is the buttering up, or somehow either it's the buttering up, or they will be like, can you please send all of these hate comments to Eric Wallace because of these following reasons? I'm like, no, he's still a human being. So, but yeah, it's obviously fine for me. It's of course Barry that because I know that hating on Oliver in this fandom is like hating on Jesus apparently. But like I couldn't be more, like, when he died, I couldn't be thrilled quicker. But yeah, Barry. I mean, when I think of Barry now, I think always of Grant. This is coming from someone who like 6 hours ago or something came home from seeing the Flash movie, and they say babies a lot in that film. You'll also be ready.
Okay, we'll get ready.
But Grant's buried this Flash. Unlike Andy Muschietti, we actually, I will still remember the work he did as Flash. So
okay. And Canada Graphs, I'm going to give you a chance to answer that. I'm going to answer mine. So, what is you have a favorite show, favorite character after all this time?
I mean, default answer is Arrow and Oliver, but if I had to try and think a little more deeply about it, I'd have to give an honorable mention in both those categories. Probably to Batwoman, because it only had 3 seasons, but it was short, fun. I never had a long-term thing of bad episodes with it for me. And if I had to take a character, probably Cisco.
Okay.
So, I'd say Arrow Oliver probably would be the default setting, but 4 other people said it already. So
right. So I'm going to do the same thing because I feel like we've given love to a lot of the people that and I don't disagree. I think everybody's answer is absolutely good. But I would say my favorite show would probably be The Flash up until 2 seasons ago, somewhere around there. But my favorite character, this is someone that I didn't talk quite a lot about in my videos because he's a character that wasn't the main focus all the time, but someone that sort of was the glue that held it all together, and that was Joe. I really like Joe. I like Jesse L. Martin. I think he was the backbone of the show, and in a lot of ways, the show stopped functioning when he wasn't present. If you think about it,
is that what happened to his back?
Carrying the show, yeah.
Exactly. There we go. I'll be in with the zinger. Good way to wrap that up. So let's do some super chats. We got a couple comments here that we're gonna go through. Robert Blake is watching the Flash movie and he's DMing or he's leaving DMs and stuff while.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. Thank you for your Team Airrick member chat. Let's pull up some super chats here. Multi-topic talk. He says Superman and Lois having 6 to 8 episode if it gets a 5th season. I'm not gonna even predict what a 5th season would be for that.
We were saying last night on Canada stream that the 5th season is going to be a TV movie.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
With the production cost being covered by a Chipotle gift card.
Yeah.
I kind of want
hey.
Partly used.
Olive Garden sponsored the Sonic movie, so
that's true.
Oh no!
and Krispy Kreme sponsored the Power Rangers movie. If you didn't know that.
Oh God!
Yeah. I kind of want to touch base on it's kind of like Bittersweet that it started with Superman and it's ending with Superman.
Oh, you're talking about Smallville starting off
Smallville started CW and it's ending with Superman.
So Lone Wolf here with a $5 super chat. Whoa, didn't know we'd have so many people here. Question: who one character everyone hates but you loved? Eric, I believe you and Paige said Ralph. So. Okay, we can kind of toss that around if anybody wants to answer this. We won't do a whole thing, but I think Ralph was a character I did not like when he was first introduced, but I think that was by design. I think he was supposed to be an annoying character in the beginning, and then he got a little bit better when we got into the 2nd season with him, which I believe was the season where they tried to give him and Iris sort of a friendship, working together and stuff like that. But I don't know if I would say that's the one character that I love that everyone hates, because I don't know if that's because a lot of people like Ralph, so I don't know if he would necessarily fall into the hate category. I would say a character that I loved, and I'm going to admit this right now, and this is why I have an emoji of him in my chat box. Goldface.
Oh yeah.
I think Goldface. I don't like Goldface
Gally
with
likes
Amunet
the
because
metal.
Amunet is awful, and I will never defend Amunet. But I really do like. I find Goldface to be quite fun. Does anybody have a character that they like that the community genuinely doesn't like resonate with? Or
I have a flip.
Felicity?
I have a flip thing.
I thought you said I have a foot fetish. I was like,
No,
go
I have no, I have a flip thing because it was like people were liking the character, and I actually disliked her
Okay.
at first. Mia, I actually didn't like
Oh,
her
yeah.
that much,
Wow.
and people are coming saying you're crazy. I like her so much. I did a stream discussing my issues with Mia because people were so upset because I was disliking Mia. Like at first, I just didn't like the character. I've turned around on her, but that was my like, oh yeah, this is somebody I wasn't supporting. And people are like, what?
Mhm.
So
yes, Jay, Daddy does like the metal. 100%.
God.
Just so you know, there you go. So
that's why we need
we-
to Amunet back. Black.
yeah. Like Laura says, Chillblade. How does that make you feel? Chainsaw
Chillblade.
is, you know.
Block. Kidding.
Here, I think Cupid from Arrow was not my favorite at all.
Oh,
at
no.
all, at all.
Oh,
So,
God.
Cupid.
I forgot about
Stupid.
her.
Anybody else want to chime in? Character that you like that the community really didn't like that you felt like you were fighting an uphill battle? when you're
Laurel.
talking
You know,
about
like the original super chat brought up Ralph, and the reality is at the beginning with Ralph, the community was very divided. There was a lot of people, like a lot, that did not like this character, and I was on almost every stream going, I think he's great. And I get people being like, "Are you an idiot? Like, do you like?" And I'm just like, "No, you'll eventually come around." You know, I didn't know they would, but you know,
Yeah.
I
And-
think
and Andy-
one of
yeah,
the
go ahead.
things I've noticed with characters throughout the Arrowverse from literally day one is people jump on hating someone day one, and it, eventually they turn around. Like, let's all remember back to Arrow season 1. How many people thought Oliver's, portrayal was too like rigid and stiff, and they thought Thea's character was too bratty, and these are some of the most beloved characters now. It just takes people some time to realize what they want,
Yeah. And Andy, you brought up Laurel. I'm assuming you mean like the original Earth One Laurel is the one you're talking about, or
Yeah, because I feel people were more open to her Earth 2 counterpart. But yeah, no, I feel like Laurel was like the one that I always had to, that I always had to defend. Whereas, people were just, let's ignore the fact that Sarah was the one who did all the wrongs, like she cheated with Oliver behind Laurel's back and all that. But let's ignore that. But let's somehow make Laurel like the villains of season 2. That's why I'm like, are these mother effers really doing this with me right now?
Right.
So, and it wasn't until like when Laurel died and some people would be like, "Oh my god, I've always loved her." No, you didn't.
No.
He's calling out the fake Laurel fans, the fake ones.
Oh,
that
yeah.
love her all the
But I
time.
think that the problem is that, not to get too negative here specifically, but they wrote the character wrong. They literally went the wrong direction with her, and that's why there were so many people that disliked her. So, and then of course,
because we have to give poor Sarah Lance something to do.
yeah, and then of course, like he was saying, I remember people were coming out that I knew commented in the past they hated Laurel's storylines in season 4, or they just didn't care, and all of a sudden they're really sad that she's dead.
Yeah.
I'm like,
any Wally West fans in here that felt like he was treated unfairly when he first got put on the show?
I liked Wally when he first came into it, so.
I mean, I remember people being. I only remember people being like, I don't really have a problem with him. But why did he have to be black though?
Yeah,
So,
I do remember quite a lot of that earlier.
I was like, that's kind of. I was kind of, but that's how biology works. So if two black parents, it's like, why does that have to be black? I'm not a racist, but why does it have to be black?
It's like I think we're already past this point. So like, why?
Yeah, let's just make him the
introduced Iris in the first season. So I mean,
yeah.
I still find it funny that the kids always got like flack for being black, but no one ever questioned that Joe was black. Like I never saw an uproar over Joe, and yet he's their dad.
You know why? Joe is an original character. He's not from the comics that they had to like swap skin color.
Okay, but you still are aware that he's the father of these two. So why aren't you annoyed by that too? Then
yeah.
Because people who live in mutters basements they don't
You
have.
can't be mad at Jesse L. Martin. It's just not possible.
What did you say on Omni? Repeat that, please.
I said because you can't be mad at Jesse L. Martin. It's just not possible.
That's true.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
He lives rent free in my mind.
Here's one from Robert
there.
Ragman. Any Ragman fans out there that love this character?
Yes.
I thought Ragman
was
That's one, yeah.
Wait, which one was he again?
That's one of those situations.
He was
like,
the
this
one
character's
that,
way
his
too
whole
OP.
town blew
Season
up.
5, Arrow season 5.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of characters. You anything
Felicity
more.
dropped a nuke on his family's town.
Oh yeah.
Rap song.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sucks for him because he was a great character. I thought they were developing him pretty well, but then budget because of his powers.
Well, I heard somewhere
He was also pretty broken.
I was going to say,
He was
Omni
broken.
brought that
He
up.
was broken.
Yeah.
Omni brought that up, and I remember that some of the conversations where people believed he was removed because he was so much more powerful than anybody on Arrow.
Yeah,
that it didn't make a lot of sense to keep him on the show. But
Connor on your Titans team.
True. Taz, what about you? Any characters that you can think of?
Yeah, I would say not a character that I saw a lot of hate for, but one that I felt was kind of underrated, and that would be James Olsen over on Supergirl, especially once he became Guardian. I didn't see a lot of love in that respect. I kind of thought it was an interesting story, something different to do with the character of Jimmy Olsen, obviously a very different version from anything we'd seen before, and I thought just kind of having him try to become his own vigilante was a very cool storyline and everything like that. So I'd say probably James Olsen, Guardian, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Look here, Jasmine says, I wish we got that Painkiller spinoff. That was one of those things where I love the idea of it, but I feel like it was like too far detached from what Black Lightning was giving fans in terms of like a street level family show. But I still would have liked to have seen it move forward because I like that character and I like the dynamic of that in terms of what they were trying to do with the TV show, with the idea of a futuristic city where everything was sort of advanced. Any thoughts on Black Lightning? Because I know that it came in late with the Arrowverse because they did not want to connect it initially. But I quite liked Black Lightning. I thought it was a great show, and I loved Jefferson. Anybody else want to chime in on Black Lightning?
Oh yeah, I will say with confidence is that Black Lightning is. I kind of wish that Salim would have even been involved with all the shows from the beginning, because I felt when they brought Black Lightning to the CW, like it wasn't just your typical superhero show anymore. So again, look at that pilot that opens up with, Jefferson getting stopped by cops. Listen to the song they play, because that at the time I didn't realize what we were listening to, but that show I think it's a shame that people didn't give it a chance because it wasn't the Arrowverse. So Black Light. I'm happy the show happened so that it actually could push the other shows to do better. Like there were even seasons where I'm like, man, the Flash could step up here even. And I'm the guy who supposedly loves everything Flash. So but I mean, I was like, damn, Black Lightning they're doing stuff like that we haven't really seen before. And this comes right
like it was almost like when Black Lightning season 1 came out. It was almost to me like the same vibe that same like refreshing vibe that we got kind of when Superman and Lois came out. When our point was like I was like, this is different. They're taking it kind of seriously over here, and like it's a whole different kind of feeling that we still have.
Wait.
Big LED
if you're gonna talk about your feelings, we gotta call Cecile because it's not like none of us can tell our own feelings.
Where's that sound effect?
I have to give a shout out, like out of all the Black Lightning stuff, as somebody that plays music for a living, I gotta give a shout out to their soundtrack department. They had the best, easily the best like non-score of any of the Arrowverse shows. Because like I think Arrow and Flash had great scores, but I think Black Lightning, when it comes to like music selection of recognizable music, they use so much great music on that show, in my opinion. Let's do a couple of super chats, and then I have a big question that's going to like turn us in a different direction here. Hero's Journey here with the $2 super chat. Can Canada Omni have more stream team ups together? So I guess they want you guys to
hashtag Omnigraphs.
I don't know.
Omnigraphs.
I mean,
no, it's Canada Media.
There you go.
No. We're not having your country take it over.
Oh, there we go. There we go. This is Lone Wolf, and we had, Chainsaw sort of gave an answer for this a little bit already, but a character that everyone that you hated that everyone else loved or liked, and that could spiral into a very, very, very bad conversation. But we're gonna just say that, there's a lot of characters that I did not like on the show. I will say a character that I will 100% stand behind as somebody that I felt was not necessary was Allegra.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's one that everybody loved, but I will say that, no offense to Allegra fans, but like her character just stuck out like a sore thumb for me on The Flash. Anybody else want to chime in on that or anything?
I got one I know not many people will be excited to hear. You know who did not work for me, mostly because I knew nothing of the character when they came in? Constantine. Did not feel like he fit Legends at the time, and I never learned to like this. I never learned to like the character.
Well, at first I'll agree, but as time went on, I actually liked him as time went on. But
you liked him as time went on?
Just because I think that I forget the
Legends.
actor's name, but he did such a good job in that role.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute, CD, were you one of those like supernatural freaks who was like, "Oh my god, look at this Castiel rip-off wannabe"? Were you one of those people?
No. I just he didn't mesh with what Legends was in my mind. Like he I don't know how to describe it except I never found that character exciting.
That his storyline felt separate from what Legends was doing. Is that what you're saying? Like he was
some of the time it literally was. Like they literally had him on side quests for like 7 episodes at a time.
So that would be a better show, to be honest.
That's a different story. I mean, him and his character might work great in a Constantine only show. But on Legends, I think he was misplaced.
Right, Omni.
He had a show.
It does. It
I would have been happy if we on The Flash had gone him. I don't mind.
That would have been. I think that would have been interesting. It would have brought a different tone to The Flash if Constantine was on there.
Yeah,
seeing him flirt with everyone and their mother, that would have just been delicious.
That should have been the whole show at that point.
Arrow, by the way,
the Constantine show.
So
I saw it. I saw the first season.
That's so good.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the Swamp Thing show, which is not Arrowverse, but the Swamp Thing show that was really good and then didn't move forward either. So
just disappointing.
A lot of missed opportunities.
Wasn't Swamp Thing just really expensive and that's why it didn't go? Or
no,
amongst a lot of things.
I think it was something about they screwed up on their taxes.
Yes, that was the main thing.
Pretty much.
And you can blame my state for that because that's where they shot it.
Thanks, Jordan.
That's what I do. With a young intern dealing with tax credits before he became an over discovery. What if that's how we began? He's the one who screwed it up, and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna one day own a studio and then just do tax write-down. I'm gonna be the IRS's best friend.
So Black Lightning the 4th season is the most underrated for multi-topic talk. I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched season 4, but I feel like the back half of it is really messy. The back half of season 4.
But that's what you can tell.
I thought the first and
I was gonna say I thought the first half was real. I liked the first half, and then I thought it just kind of was like.
The stuff with getting rid of the daughter and then bringing her back was so weird. That was so weird. She became a being in the sky and then had to reform, and it was just it went too far for me in that.
And then was an outer space being who was like, "Aha! I tried to trick you."
And then Keone happened.
Yes, Keone.
But when you look at the second half of the season 4, that's when you can tell oh crap, this is because you can tell that season they were not planning season 4 to be the final one. I think the whole point with Tobias was supposed to literally set up the most of season 5. So in the back half, I feel oh my god, we're having to rush everything now because the CW used again that's why I hate when people are saying Black Lightning they ended right. No man, they got canceled. The people who the actors on the show had to find out on Twitter that he got canceled.
Yeah. there was that drama, and then that final episode was filmed where everybody was separated from each other. It was really, really, really strange on that. Okay, so before we got a couple of super chats, but there was one more topic that I had planned before we just answer Q&A here, and anybody can chime on this one because I think that's the easiest way to get it done. Is we had a lot of crossovers. That's one thing the Arrowverse had that we didn't really see on other shows was crossovers where they had these 4 or 5 part like mega episodes, almost movies. And it's unfortunate because the way that was done was brilliant when it happened, but now it's really difficult when you're trying to watch it like at home. If you have to have like several different streaming services to sort of watch those things. Is there any particular crossover, and it can be a small one or one of the bigger ones, that you would consider your favorite and that you thought was really amazing? And I'll start. I think that Crisis on Earth X was brilliant. I think that was a brilliant crossover. I love the storyline behind it, and I think a lot of care went into that, along with the connection with the Ray, which I wish we would have seen that character again in the Arrowverse, and with the animated thing that we saw that connected those characters as well. Just a lot of great stuff. I like Crisis on Earth X. The Martin Stein stuff got to me. That was really well done as well. So anybody just jump in and let me know. Like,
I'm just going to be the one for, I'll be the first one to say Crisis on Infinite Earth because, and again, I know people have their various issues. I mean, my biggest issue is that some photography freak in Vancouver was like, Tom L is going to be in the episode, and then that was one of those times where I'm like, I didn't know CG at the time, but like as someone who
that wasn't me.
It wasn't you. It was Ken. I'm talking about Ken, obviously Ken. But no, because I remember I knew it was true, and I'm like, I can't say I want to speak up for this guy because I did not like how the internet was bullying me. He's lying. I'm like, no, he's not lying. He literally was there. For me, Crisis on Infinite Earth, I feel was the culmination of a lot of things that we've been seeing over the last 3-4 years at that time. And again, was it perfect from start to finish? No, I mean, again, there's obviously areas they could have improved on, but the fact that the smallest channel out of all the big 5 broadcasting networks were able to put something like this together better than major motion picture studios cinematic universe could, that has 10 times more resources. But again, like Greg Berlanti and his team, they managed to do something that, like, again, these shows could have gotten canceled if they had been on any other network, but to see that they kept going with it for years, and it was I feel Crisis on Infinite Earth. I'm gonna get slaughtered in the comment for saying this. That is the bigger love letter to DC than this Flash movie was for me. Again, so for me, that's how I genuinely felt about it. And here's the thing: we didn't know at the time that 4 months later, the world was going to be shut down. So the fact that we even got Crisis, even some people may say, "Oh, they should have done Crisis earlier when they were in." So it's like, you know what? I'm glad we got it at all because there's still like so much that you can. Like, we can still look back at those 5 episodes. And like, oh my god, remember when? Like Kevin Conroy came down and freaked out Kane about still being
Brandon
alive.
Routh got to continue his character from Superman Returns.
I got my Tom Welling fixation in there. Again, like I literally, because of him, I got that same shirt. Like again, and I don't wear plaid. Like I don't wear flannel, anything. Tom Welling woke something up. We still remember when the first time Stargirl was shown to the world before her show had even premiered. So again, like that's why, like I will again, I don't like Arrowverse as much as other people do because again, I can't say that. Doris said I can't say that word on YouTube. So I'm
probably not best. The main villains.
I was not comfortable with that. I wasn't comfortable with the death of Stein, and then some random hacker and archer decided to destroy a wedding, but sure. But for me, even Earth, I'm like, that's why I felt like so much of the fandom was so unified. It was so unified of celebrating, but we were there was something for everyone to enjoy. Like if you were a Smallville fan, you got a major Smallville scene after 10 years.
Laura Sayer, Andy needs to go into hiding for that comment. So
listen, I have to be particularly careful right now. It's Pride Month, so I have to be wise with careful. So, but again, I feel like that was we were all together in that. And then what happened?
I watched 2000 for that.
Anybody else have another
Yeah.
option for that?
I'll have an honorable mention.
I will leave mine super short. For quality, far and away, it's Crisis on Earth X. For entertainment value, it is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
So for me, it keeps on flip-flopping between Earth X and Infinite Earth. I think both of them have, and like the Flash was my intro to that character. I didn't know what Crisis even was before that crossover, so I went into it fresh. I kind of looked up, like, from seeing videos, like, I knew what it was before the crossover, like, kind of the gist of it, like, it's the end of everything, basically. But, so, yeah, it has to be both of those.
For me, it's kind of like a tie between Crisis on Infinite Earths and Elseworlds, because of the fact that, from a comic book nerd like me, I never thought this was possible. Because Elseworlds and Crisis on Infinite Earths is like big. I
mean, keep in mind the TV show did Crisis on Infinite Earths before the movies did, which is intense.
So it was like, this was like the big thing to, like, we can bring nostalgia from all these movies, these TV shows, and give love to the fans. Like even shows that only lasted one season, aka Birds of Prey, and Lucifer was in there. All these non
CW shows, right?
Non-main CW DC shows, which Lucifer is technically not a DC, like, it's DC, but it's on a. It's like
Sweet Tooth on Netflix. It's a DC property of Sandman, but it's not the same. Yeah. What about you, Chainsaw? You were going to chime in there.
I want to give a shout out to Invasion. I feel like that was. I remember watching that crossover with a buddy of mine. I think that the reaction is on the channel of us watching part 4 or was it part 3? All right, yeah, 3 episodes. The Supergirl being officially introduced to everybody else, and they've already done crossover, so it's like, okay, it's another crossover. And then that shot of all of them standing together on the rooftop with Supergirl there. It's like, it just blows my mind. Like, they pulled it off, even though, it's on they're on the CW, but the fact that she's from another Earth and they found a way, and she even knows the Dominators. I thought they did that pretty damn well. And Oliver and Barry had to fight the messed up versions of them where they were all like mind controlled. That was insane. I was like, this is awesome.
I need to go back and watch Invasion again. It's been a minute. What about you, Taz and Taj? Any favorites from the crossovers? Or
I'm gonna have to build off of what 3Dub said and say Elseworlds, just because the anticipation leading up to it. I remember when that first poster dropped and we saw Oliver and Barry swapping suits, and we were like, what the heck is going on? And then we got some set pictures and everything, and we saw Earth 90 Flash, and or the 90s Flash kind of like
I remember that. Yeah, that was a great
updated version of the suit. Like, it looked so good. And just the fact that it was a much smaller scale crossover, really focusing on the core DC TV trinity of Oliver, Kara, and Barry. Just the fact that it was a much just more self-contained, more just kind of like standalone story than the rest of the crossovers, and also the fact that it's set up for Crisis on Infinite Earths the following year.
Yeah, so. That's true.
The whole Diggle line with that when he first appeared, when the all three of them came, is like, there's something terribly wrong, isn't there? Because when 3 of you show up.
Taj, anything, any hot takes, or are you kind of just echoing?
Pretty much Earth X is the best one. Just the way they constructed that crossover, it felt like a movie, like watching it. And I remember at the time people was talking about, before the Snyder Cut, everybody was like, this is better than Justice League. and I agree. Like, I still think
I forgot that was around that time, so everybody was like looking at the two of them and thinking
it was during that month.
Omni, did you have an honorable mention, but did you have anything to add? Did you have a one that you want to talk about, like crossover wise?
I don't think I actually even got that one out. But like, if I was going down, like, we'll do this in tiers. We'll do like the massive stuff. I would be like Crisis on Earth X. I think that's like Crisis on Infinite Earths has a lot of fun moments, but I think Earth X is just a fun, clean, straight through ride. And then honorable mention Elseworlds, but let's talk about some of the smaller ones. Duet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love Duet. It's one of my favorite episodes in the whole show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, you got so many musical people across all these different shows, and you just like slap them all together and you just let them go. You always win brownie points with me if you actually have Jesse L. Martin sing. So
I kind of like
I
how
absolutely love that.
Like, kind of like
Yeah, where were you send photos for that, CG, huh? Do you still like musicals?
That was mostly done in a theater.
So,
okay. All right, so
like
this
how they
you
foreshadowed
could have just stuck in there.
singing from all the characters that we're going to sing. I liked how they foreshadowed them in like small videos, and also like I think Victor Stein sang before the episode happened on his own show.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I did want to build on one thing you said too about how this little network managed to pull all these things together. But that's also like even beside the big budget studio and all that was still struggling. But like all while that was happening, that same studio, that same parent company was Wile E. Coyoting the Roadrunner the whole time, trying to like hit them with a roadblock, to run them off a cliff, and these shows just kept going.
Yeah,
like WB, I'm looking at you, was always trying to like make them slip up or pulling something away from them. Like, oh, you had that character, but you can't use them anymore.
True.
We're going to use them in 5 years, but stop, please.
Yeah.
All
right, so this is the 10-minute like end of stream warning. But if anybody here needs to go, I get it because everybody dedicated an hour. But we do have some super chats, and I'm going to lower the banner now. I want to spend some time focused on getting through the super chats because we have a few of them. So it's going to be a lightning round. If you have an answer, feel free to give it. If you don't, you can just give a thumbs up. But Captain J10 here with the $2 super chat. Best and worst supervillain from the Arrowverse. That's a lot, though. But I would have to say, for me, we're talking about the whole Arrowverse. I'm going to give my first thoughts on this. I think the best villain for me, because they're so prolific, would have been Reverse Flash, because they just were around for the longest time. I would say the worst villain for me, and this is only to the specific season, okay? Just this season, was Damien Dark in season 4 of Arrow. I think he was not a good fit for season 4 of Arrow. And those are my two answers. And anybody, guys, go ahead and chime in.
I would go Damien Dark in season 4 and Cicada 2. Not Cicada 1, Cicada 2. And season 5. And well, the Forces weren't even a villain, so.
Yeah. So mine is Prometheus as the best, and Red Death as the worst.
Oh, I'm not gonna disagree with either of those choices.
I'm sorry, did you not watch Flash season 5? Like, did you not see that raggedy man with his, he already
said it. I'm trying to do something different.
Don't disrespect Mr. Visualizer like that. Like,
I'll just get us back on track here. Mine was pretty simple. I saw this question ahead of time, so I wrote down some options. For me, I think best one is Prometheus. I know, there's a couple of other strong contenders, but the way he got under Oliver's skin, just A+. Worst, Cicada. Not just because of the character, but because of how often they let that character get away.
Yeah,
that just I can't forgive that.
Anybody else have any other choices? Hot takes, cold takes?
I'm gonna go with Prometheus for my best, and worst is Leviathan from season 5 of Supergirl.
Oh, that was bad.
You could just delete that entire season.
Yeah,
I'll actually go like all the Supergirl villains are the worst besides maybe Lex. So.
I actually thought Rain was really good for the first half of that season.
Well, didn't they have to rewrite?
Because of Andrew Kreisberg, yes, they had to redo the end of the season.
I thought Agent Liberty wasn't as bad either, but
so out of place on that show, though. Well done.
He was. Thank you, Jordan Kent, for the grace.
But I just like what's his name? Because he played Doomsday in Smallville, so
Davis Bloom.
Constantine was wasted on Legends for multi-topic talk.
Well,
Agree or disagree with this, everybody? Constantine was wasted on.
I think they were just forcing the character on the show because people wanted it, but then they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
So,
I thought he had the same tone from his TV show, so it felt like it wasn't in the place of Legends because they were doing him dark, just like his show.
And Omni, you loved his show, so what do you think? Was he wasted on Legends, or did you like to have him there?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, like they didn't know what to do, but like I was more interested in what he was doing than what the Legends were doing most of the time, anyway.
Anybody else? Any opinions on that? No. Okay.
I think Reverse Flash is the best one for me in Wars. It's probably a tie between Cicada and Mark Guggenheim, but
Oh, Mark Guggenheim. All right, gotcha.
Technically, he exists in the Arrowverse. Look at Elseworlds. He's in there.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
True.
Lone Wolf says, since we got a crowd, this is a tough one. Zoom or Reverse Flash? Always a big
Reverse
debate.
Flash.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah, I'm going Reverse Flash too.
Matt
Well,
Lyncher.
so I always say this: season 1 had the better overall story, but season 2 had the better individual episodes, and I'll kind of relate that to the villains. Overall story arc, I would say Reverse Flash over Zoom did have that more scary aspect, and he actually would make me, he did kind of scare me when I first saw season 2, when he had the claws and when he first showed up with Dragonberry around the city, so...
Yeah,
that changed my viewpoint. I still think Reverse Flash is overall better, but Zoom in season 2 upped the ante from Reverse
Zoom
Flash.
was the scariest speedster, hands down. Period. The scariest one.
And it was funny before, like I at first thought Zoom because the suit was so good. I thought Zoom was an alien. I thought that was the skin at first.
Oh, because
I did
it was on the face.
Yeah,
very symbiote.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, this is. I'm going to translate this, right? I'm going to translate this for people that don't know. Here is Dirty Year. It says, Taz, do you remember in season 2 when Supergirl said she would fight James if he didn't stop being Guardian? Thoughts on it? This is only for Taz.
No one else
Only for
speak.
me. Alrighty, so I would say I think the fact that James was around all of these different superpowered people, he was great friends with Kara, great friends with Clark and everything like that, and he just wanted to, put his hat in the ring in there as a hero and everything like that. He wanted to, live up to the people that were around him. So I'd say definitely it was a great idea for him to try and go out there as a vigilante. I'm all for it. That's kind of my position on it.
He puts you in the spot there. So, all right. Cheyenne here. Oh, this is one for Andy's got a question. I guess we can all answer this one because it doesn't say only for Andy. It doesn't say only for Andy. So Andy, I know I'm late in asking this to you, but thoughts of the Flash finale? I'm asking you because you did go easy on the show, even through the craziness.
He didn't.
Such a shill.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not going to put you on the spot. Do you want to address this?
I will. He's a super chat, so of course I will entertain the people. Okay. I just call the Flash Podcast, so you can check it out at flashpodcast.com. If you listen to this season, you can hear that I actually had a lot of issues. It got to a point where I was hating an episode so bad, I had to text Jordan and be like, do you have time to come on and entertain the crowd? Because I cannot keep talking about this episode. I am because I'm friends with a showrunner and I'm friends with people who work on the show does not mean that I can criticize the show. So that I can't criticize the show. Like I just don't spend my entire day bitching about it on Twitter in like a whole Twitter thread because I'm a critic. This is what I do for a living. So but again, I guess I just didn't do it right. I don't know. But also I am also Greg Berlanti's illegitimate son, so of course I can't disrespect my dad like that. I'm Eric Wallace's personal assistant apparently, so I can't defy him, and on the weekends Mark Guggenheim gets to play with me, so I just don't have a mind of my own.
Okay. Well, I'm not a critic. I'm just a person with a lot of bad takes. That's all it is. I just have a chance.
I think we all are.
So this comment.
Well, not me. All my takes are right.
I also will second what Canada said, but about me, not about Canada.
So I've mentioned this before, but this may get me kicked off the stream.
But
I thought the Flash finale was a 10 out of 10.
No, it wouldn't get you.
No.
You can love it if you want.
It's
I don't.
okay.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, it wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Look.
But I
There's
give it like a 7.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
I think 7's fair.
Yeah.
Because my only issue with it was Flying Seal, and even then, I didn't really pay attention to it because it was like it's the finale. I really don't care.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. I mean, I don't have an issue.
For me,
I just
the
wish-
Flash
I just wish-
finale was like a 7 out of 10, but the entire season is like a 3.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
A rough
No,
one.
I was just the whole season of 5.
All right, so we have Lone Wolf here. Merlin season 1 that's easy. Prometheus for me. I don't
Yeah.
Prometheus easily.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Merlin, but Prometheus was another level for that show.
Yeah.
It literally, think about this. Season 4 happened,
Yep.
and then we got season 5.
flip.
Like that's I mean that's
That was some
easy
whiplash.
Yes.
100%. All right, this is the last super chat we have, unless somebody wants to get any last minute ones in, and then we're going to do our final thoughts on the stream here. And by the way, everyone on the stream with me, this is an open invitation. I will be doing more streams on other topics. So if anybody in the chat would like to see them come back, hit us up on Twitter or whatever and say, hey, I want to see you guys talk about this, and maybe we can work it out. I'm willing to go on anybody else's channel. All you have to do is ask me, and I'll jump over and do a stream with everybody. So just the invitation's out there. If you want me, if you don't want my bad takes, I get it.
I mean, I always want you on. That's
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
God,
that's on
here we go. What if DeVoe was in the final battle with all of his powers, like all the powers that he had? I mean,
Cecile would kick his ass.
So wait. I want to say, okay, just let's leave Cecile out of this. She's OP.
Keon would kick his ass.
The hallway scene with DeVoe was the best thing in that season.
Yep.
the classic
That hallway
music,
scene with
the classic
DeVoe.
music.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
that was the best thing.
It
about
gave
it.
me
Yeah.
That's just one of the
dark
situations.
vibes,
I just thought
with
Neil
the Hulk,
Sandman
when he
was
came back to life,
amazing.
when Damien Dark came back to life and started kicking everyone's butt, just like whoop, dude.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what we're gonna do is because I'm gonna give my final thoughts because again, this is gonna be my last 100% official Arrowverse stream. And oh, by the way, looks like we got a super chat from Hero's Journey. $2 says, "Good answer, Taz. You're awesome. Canada Omni too." So there we go. That's
Everyone else sucks.
Thank
Everyone
you.
else
That's
sucks.
the rest of us.
I know.
Yeah, everybody sucks.
I won't take that personally at all. You're banned. Just joking. All right.
Please do it. Please do it.
Can
We're
we
gonna
just
start over here. We're
wait,
gonna
I have
try
a
and-
question.
Yeah,
Can we
go
just
ahead,
talk
go
about how amazing Supergirl is as a character?
She's actually better than Laura Vandervoort in Smallville.
Omni. Bye, Omni. Bye.
We're gonna go in reverse order. We're gonna start at Canada Graphs. Any final thoughts on the Arrowverse as a whole in terms of what you've been doing on your channel for a while? Any last things you want to say about it here in the stream? Because I know you'll probably still talk about it other times, but I feel like we're all together. It's a good opportunity to sort of say some stuff. So anything?
Sure. I mean, obviously, my entire business model, I did not start out in TV and movie, reporting stuff. That was not my thing. But, other things before Arrowverse came along kind of got me on that track. But probably nothing has carried more viewership and more interest than the Arrowverse as a whole. I mean, you're talking 6 properties total that filmed in Vancouver. It's obviously a large part of my life now. 20 years ago, it would have been kind of this thing I just kind of did on the side. But now it was the majority, so much so that I'm kind of looking at the next season of TV. I'm outside of Superman and Lois, I'm like, what am I going to cover in Vancouver? There's things around, but they're not the same level.
F-Boy Island. You'll be covering F-Boy Island in Vancouver.
I don't think that's in Vancouver.
It should be.
It should. What about you, Andy? So opinionated down there.
Yes, always.
What about you?
Well, I didn't say anything.
I'm prefacing this so people don't get angry. No, I'm just kidding. What about you? Any thoughts on a lamenting on the Arrowverse and the things that have happened? Same question for you.
It's been a privilege to be Greg Landy's top bitch. No, for me, I started covering Arrow when I was 19, 20 years old. And, this was a brand I covered for, 10, 12 years of my career that allowed me to do so much. It's opened up a lot of doors. So for me, again, there will always be things that we can make fun of with this franchise, just like we can with the MCU, with Star Wars movies, with Star Trek, anything. But the fact that we get to do this for, we get to have this for 10 years. We get to have crossovers every year. We got that, all those special moments. We're all gathered around our computer screens for Comic-Con, waiting for the new trailers, or debating, are they going to reveal something at upfronts, or all those premieres in October every year. It's those are times I'm generally going to miss, and it's I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with DC Universe and whatnot. But I feel like the Arrowverse always deserves a massive pat on the back for doing something that I don't think a lot of TV networks can ever repeat.
Absolutely.
I mean, because I don't know, like, unless you're like 900 years old and care for like Chicago crossovers or NCIS or whatever procedure they're still doing, they won't be able to compete with that. So it's I look forward to be able to go back and rewatch some of my favorite seasons of these shows, some of these crossovers, and also just thinking back of the community we built over the last 10 years. So
100%.
And also I will always be happy to be any executive producer's number one shell, whatever, just Venmo me that paycheck and I will do it.
All right.
And
Flash Freak, do you want to add anything to that? Or?
Yeah, so the Flash was really, besides animated cartoons I watched as a kid, the Flash was really the first show, or it was the first show I was there every week to watch. And there was only a couple times though I missed a Tuesday night or now Wednesday night, and even then I would watch it as soon as I got home, and it really changed my life. It got me through really hard times, and I even met Grant, Tom, and Steven last weekend, and sorry, my screen went black for a second. But I told them really it was an honor to meet them, and I even told them the same thing, and it was just it will always be a big part of my life. And Grant will always be my Flash. It's like Steven will always be my Arrow. Even Melissa will always be my Supergirl.
I feel the triggering in the comments already. What about you? We're going to go up to Chainsaw and go this direction. What about you? Anything you have to say or add? Because
on the spot. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's been an incredible journey, and I said this years ago. That I think the Arrowverse is going to go down as one of the greatest achievements of the comic book medium because of what they pulled off. Yeah, sure, not everything was perfect, but they did so many amazing things with their characters, with their shows, the crossovers, as it's been said over and over. It's been an incredible journey, and it's crazy how they pulled it off because, like it was mentioned, the movie side was just didn't know what they were doing. They kept screwing everything up. If it wasn't for the Arrowverse, and also credit to the MCU, I don't think I would be back to loving these kind of characters, because I grew up on X-Men, Spider-Man 90s series, the Batman the Animated Series in the 90s, but then I fell out of those things. And then watching the MCU start to grow and then discover and finally watch Arrow on Netflix, that changed everything. And so I have to give my praise and will always defend the Arrowverse. I will not defend all the things I dislike, but I will defend to my dying breath the Arrowverse, what they did, because it's phenomenal what they did overall. When you think about everything, not individual pieces, the whole package, it's insane.
Jordan, Ken, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that is the best thing to come out of the Arrowverse.
Daddy likes to
disagree with you. So, Omni, any thoughts now as we wrap up on the Arrowverse? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, like like I said earlier, like I've been following it, since Arrow season 2. So like it's been a huge adventure. I mean, I came off of Smallville and all that kind of stuff too, but like I really feel like my love was reinvigorated for all this stuff that like kind of like I was starting to like maybe I wouldn't say necessarily fade, but like was losing its pull from the ether with like the stuff from the 90s and stuff as I was starting to kind of fizzle out and DC was in a weird place. And then the Arrowverse started, and it was just like, wow, this is awesome. And I thought, completely unlike the actual like movies that we were getting around that time, that's what I was like, this is the parallel to the MCU. This is where that's happening. They're rising up to meet that challenge where the uppers with all the money, and this is on a network that is free. Like if you're in the States, it is free. You don't have to have cable. You just need a screen and an antenna. It's open air. Just plug in and it's there. And this is where that's happening. And it was crazy to me that the stuff they were pulling off. And like, I feel like there was just maybe limitations, writing, budgets, all the excuses, whatever that you have on that side of thing, that they were still able to show as much love to these characters as they could, more than their parent company, I felt, ever did. Yeah. And like, I came into it on the channel, like in the tail end, like I covered Crisis. That's when I started. And after that, it was just, you all know the story. Like after that point, it started to taper. It has maybe seemingly run its course, as some might say. But, it started the foundation for my channel. It got to the point where I was continuing it for myself, because I definitely wasn't continuing it for the channel after a little while. But just because I wanted to, because like, I don't want to react to something or watch something I don't want to watch and put something out there that I'm just doing because it's the hippie to hop new thing or whatever. But like, I watched them all to the end. I ended up reacting to every single one of them in the end. And I put that time in because I wanted to see what happened, for better or for worse. Yeah. And I'm gonna miss it. Like I like Jordan said, like I think all the good stuff is always going to outshadow the negatives to me. I think their highs are so high, I can forgive a lot of the pitfalls by large and far. And you also have to, like we said, like consider it on a scale, man. Like this is the CW that did this. Yeah. Like it's not HBO. It's not Cinemax. It's not
the CW was battling with Marvel, basically, is what it was doing.
Yeah, like, and it took Marvel to find it. It took them time to find their TV stride. When they did, it changed the game a little bit again, but as they do. But DC was over here running laps around everybody else on the TV sphere for a long time.
Yeah.
And, anyway, I will hop off my soapbox.
Taj, sound off for us. Like, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, just like everyone else, I'm gonna miss it. It's been a part of my life since 2012. It's weird not having it on TV now. Yeah. Like ever since the Flash ended, I'm just like, it's nothing to watch on TV. And and basketball season just ended, so I don't have that either.
Oh wow, so it's all
over. Yeah, it's all over. And like this will never be done on TV again. Like just doing this with superhero media in general. They were able to keep up with the MCU, and like that's a great achievement. So yeah. Hats off to the Arrowverse.
Taz, your turn.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting how I jumped into everything as a fan of just superhero content in general. I came out of it a comic book fan, somebody who found a passion for covering these shows, for content creation, for just kind of the behind the scenes aspect of everything as well. It got me really interested in just like how TV shows are made, the filmmaking process, the all the work and effort that just goes into creating something so special like the Arrowverse, the fact that it went on for as long as it did, the fact that it grew such a crazy community that was just, so passionate about all of these shows in one form or another, whether they're posting videos, whether they're just, putting their thoughts out online or anything like that. I think we will always remember the Arrowverse as something just truly special in the superhero space.
I agree. And now, before I give my thoughts, we have the resident Smallville fan here with 3Dub. Any thoughts on the Arrowverse? And I will allow you to include Smallville since that's your gateway show. So.
I was going to say it's been like for me my entire life of DC, and I'm not like set on one universe. I'm DC and Marvel, so I don't like discriminate like between them. I think they're both great. DC kind of struggled with the movies for me. They were either box office hits or flops, and MCU nailed the movies, you know, the MCU, and then we got the Arrowverse, which 700 plus episodes, 40 plus seasons. We're never going to get this again. The level of connectivity and the whole shared universe, it's kind of like it's going to start something. It kind of already did with the DCU. I mean, they tested the waters and they found out it's really good. So they're going to try to do this again with the DCU and connecting the, you know, games, movies, and TV shows. So for me, it's been like a long ride. I'm going to defend it probably for centuries, even if I'm dead and gone.
You're going to be defending it in the grave there, defending the Arrowverse.
I mean, technically that can happen as long as YouTube exists.
Yeah.
He'll have it on his tombstone.
Arrowverse was great.
Yeah.
Before I give my final thoughts, we have 2 quick super chats here. One of them is from Steigervor. 499 super chat says, when Arrow started, I never thought it would expand into a whole CTV universe. I will agree with that. I didn't think so either, because I do believe in the beginning they didn't even want to have metahumans on the show. So the fact that they went that far, I mean, it's just quite wild that was what happened. And
came around, they were just like, what if we
maybe the Flash? Let's introduce one of the more powerful metahumans. We'll bring the Flash in. Darren's here. We're gonna give Darren a chance to come on in a second before we wrap up.
Okay, I gotta go anyway, so perfect timing. You can fill that square.
See you later, Canada Graphs.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
There's Darren.
Yo.
So, wait, I can't hear him.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I ran to get here.
All right. So we'll give you a chance here in a second. You can even answer this if you want to. Lone Wolf here, the $5 super chat. How would y'all rank the specifically Earth 2 Wells, HR Sherlock Wells? That, oh my gosh, there's so many Wells. I'm not going to rank them, but I will say that my favorite was Earth 2 Harry. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think outside of him, like maybe HR.
HR is second.
Yeah.
I like Timeless Wells. So
I like Timeless. I wish we had more time with time. I wish we had more time with Timeless Wells.
They called him
I
Timeless
wish we had
Wells,
less of
bro.
Wells. Just kidding.
Yeah.
He was timeless because he didn't have enough time to be there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'm going to say I think a lot of people I always look at Earth 2 Harry as the Harry that we actually knew, because we didn't really know Wells from Earth 1. So
can we count Eobard Harry?
I know. I mean, I always feel like there's a little blend there. It's like, maybe possibly. But since everybody else had a chance to do this, and Darren, you rushed home to get here, just give us your general thoughts on all of this about saying goodbye to the Arrowverse, what it meant to your channel, and those things. So feel free to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a franchise that is like so special to me. Like, I grew up on this. And as someone that like gets really attached to things, like when I find something I like, I grab onto it. So like growing up in like middle school and high school, like I felt like a lot of my family attached to like football or basketball. Everyone had a thing where like they could expect the same thing every year. And I was like, all right, each year I got like 4 or 5 shows, and they all have a Christmas episode, and I got 22 episodes a season, and they all have a big bad, and and then like the following year it's the same exact thing, and I loved that part about it. So obviously it's so special to me, and again, I think like this right here, like what you guys are doing right now is the most special thing. Like I think the people that it's been able to bring together is such a monumental thing that I don't know. Again, it will be done, and I think I'm very excited to see like what the future of like superheroes and DC and all that stuff is. But I think this is something that is truly, really special, and that will never be done again.
Absolutely. Staggervor here says, I think we owe a big thank you to Greg Berlanti for putting all this together. What an amazing champion for like comic book television. I mean, he really did sort of just like usher in some of the best comic book TV we've had. And I'll say this, I don't think we'll ever, and I mean this including the Marvel stuff and the new DC stuff coming up, I don't think we'll ever get something at the level that we had it with the Arrowverse, where we're getting like 19 to 23 episodes a season. We're getting a major crossover with all these shows. I don't think we're going to see that ever again. I think that was something that was just unique to the Arrowverse. Yep. And you know, so yeah, definitely.
Worlds will live, worlds
and
will
if
die,
we did
and the universe will never be the same again.
So Anonymous here coming in with the 199 super chat, bringing up something that I even forgot that happened. I always forget about this. The Dragon Con story you said you would share at the end of The Flash. So I couldn't share this while the show was on because they wouldn't let me release the interview because of the fact that it was an interview that I did with Danielle Panabaker like way back in the day. And I went off script for the interview. Like I had questions approved and I asked a couple of questions that were not approved. So they told me that I couldn't release the interview. So a lot of that, like I couldn't even edit it out because they were the ones with the access to it. So I couldn't use it. The reason why is because Danielle, I asked her about a relationship storyline about whether or not she would be getting into a relationship in a upcoming season. And she started talking about the Snowberry shippers specifically and said that she doesn't think that her character needs to be in a relationship to be a valid character. Like she felt like Caitlin could be just a standalone character that didn't need to be dating anybody. And this was after season 3. And so everybody sort of like, when I talked to her and even she was on a panel and she alluded to this, but she says that she didn't want to engage in the conversation online about it because there was so much toxicity around like the whole Snowberry stuff and, you know, West Allen. And she didn't want to be involved in it at all. Like she said in the interview with me that she's like, I don't want to be involved in it at all, basically. And so they would not let me like put that interview out. It was going to be on Discussing Film. And all of my other interviews for Discussing Film are, I think they're still there with the exception of one of them. But this was the one where just they couldn't put it out because they wouldn't approve Discussing Film because I asked a question that was not approved. And I know Andy does a lot of interviews. I don't know how it works anywhere else, but with Dragon Con, if you ask a question that is not approved, your interview does not get released. And that's just the way it usually works. So
well, if you guys want a fun fact, because again, I didn't know about the Flash before the show, so I didn't know about Barry and Iris, but I originally was a Snowberry shipper, so
just like you were.
And then I was a Kara and Barry. I think they call it Super Flash shipper.
Yep.
What a thing to reveal there, Flash. But anyway, I will say Danielle was one of the most positive, like in terms of like meeting the cast. I had nothing but great things to say about Danielle. I met her probably just as much as I met John Wesley Shipp and some of the other people that were involved with the show. And they were all very, very nice. And Danielle gave me the impression that she just didn't want to be involved in the drama. And I echo that. I don't think the actors, any of them, including, you know, the stuff that Candace gets or any actor on any show should have to deal with drama from the fandom. I think that's wrong. If you don't like something on the show, it's a fictional show. Yeah. Feel free to complain about your issues with the show, but do not go after the actors. That is absolutely.
Even the people who work on the show themselves.
Oh yeah, anybody. I feel the same way. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me give my final thoughts, and then we're gonna do shout outs for everybody here. So my YouTube channel started with me reviewing American Idol. That was my original premise for my YouTube channel, and I was reviewing American Idol every single week. Till I got tired of reviewing American Idol. And then I stopped making content on my channel and I started live streaming on another website and I disappeared from YouTube for like 5 years. And then the Arrowverse happened and I decided to come back to YouTube and start making videos on YouTube. So my entire existence on YouTube as of now is what it is because of the Arrowverse, because I don't know if I ever would have came back and started making content again to the level that I'm making it now. And so I really appreciate all the people who have not only been a part of this community, like every single person in this live stream that has either been a content creator or somebody that has been supportive of the community, or even just the fans alone, everybody that's watching the stream right now, everyone that supports the community in general. This was ours. It was ours to have, it was ours to enjoy and appreciate. And I just want to say thank you so much for like supporting everyone inside this box and everybody that's not present here that was part of the Arrowverse community, because without all of us loving it, it would not have been something that anybody would have been talking about. So it does require the fans to love it and support it. And so for that, I will forever be grateful. And of course, we're going to have more DC stuff to talk about moving forward. We got Superman and Lois season 4. We have some other stuff coming from the DCU. So we have tons of stuff to talk. We have a Flash movie coming out this weekend. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So we got plenty of stuff coming around to talk about. But look, I'm going to link everyone's channel that's here. Some of it's already down in the description box. So if you want to go and check out any of these channels, and I recommend all of them, except for mine, I recommend all of these channels to go over and check them out. They're linked in the box below. And if you want to see us get back together and do more stuff, please let me know on social media so I can make it happen, because I would love to have more people involved. Again, this was Taz, and Omni's first time on a stream with me. And I would love to have them back again if they would come back on, or maybe I could join you guys on one of your streams or something like that. And you know, I think I'll probably jump over on Andy and Chainsaw's podcast more often and join them for the multiverse.
Yes,
you just
please.
Jordan's day.
Yes,
jump over there more. But anyway, everybody's got stuff going on. Let me make sure I give everybody a chance to do a little shout out. Anybody have anything big coming up that they want to promo before we wrap the stream up? Anything going on?
Me and DJ Eric are doing a Flash review, so.
Oh, well,
it's my first review too.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I know that you guys are doing the Geek Drums. What is it? I can't ever remember the name of it. The thing on Mondays. What is it? Party Nation.
Party Nation. The spinoff of you.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of the After Party. I can never remember the name of it. I am a bad person. Go over and check them out. Check out Taz's channel. Go show him some love over there. Omni Media, can't speak more highly of his channel. He's got great content. So definitely go and check him out.
Flash reactions.
Yeah, there we go.
And Superman Lois next week in Extraction.
Yeah. Chainsaw and Andy, they're doing their stuff over there. Chainsaw is reacting to things.
That's what I do.
All the time.
I watch things and make faces.
Endless Multiverse, great podcast. Go check them out. Go check them out on Friday nights. They do some great stuff. Last week, what are you doing on your channel? I don't know what your channel is going to be doing. Are you doing anything on your channel?
So I haven't posted a video in a couple months. But...
Okay, well then your channel's dead. Moving on. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But I do a weekly live stream that I will not be doing tomorrow because I'll be at the Flash movie. But we have Sweet Ups on there. We have Robert. We have Amethyst, and I think Lance might even start showing up. Yeah. So.
Awesome. And Andy, you're doing your Flash podcast stuff and the Multiverse of Color. You got so many things going on.
I crave attention, so you know I will take on anything. Yeah, but I'm at Flash podcast, Multiverse of Color, Screen Rant. I'm also existing various people's nightmares. You know, I will probably show up as Supergirl and Heroes Journey's Nightmares from Night or something. I don't know, but yeah. I'm everywhere, so you know.
Check him out. He's Andy everywhere. Go look for. So, Taj, what are you reacting to over on your channel nowadays? What's happening over there on Taj?
With little superhero we have, I still do Superman and Lois. The new Superman show is getting ready to come out in July, so I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped for that. Secret Invasion comes out next week. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so I'll have all of those on there.
Yeah, and I'm going to give Taz a chance. Are you doing live streams anytime soon, Taz?
Yeah, I've been trying to integrate streams back in my channel. Recently, I've been just enjoying kind of like going to everybody else's channel, and I was like, I'll try some out for myself. So I'm planning on streaming this weekend, hopefully, after I've seen the Flash movie, talk about that. And then I've got a couple of big videos coming up, I guess, once Gotham Knights and Superman and Lois end. I'll do some big kind of like just season overviews, finale reviews, that type of thing. And I guess I'll just promote my my Flash finale video. That one I put a lot into. I loved that one. It turned out pretty great. I thought that was one of my favorite videos that I've made. So definitely go check that out if you haven't.
And I do want to point out that
it's a random thought. And I just realized Taz and Taj sounds very similar. Have you guys considered doing Taz and Taj as a show?
Yeah.
Could be a good idea.
Double T.
And Omni, I want to give you a chance though, also to promote your stuff because you're doing movie reviews quite often on your channel as well, right? Didn't you just do a recent movie review? Anything in particular you want to promo for your channel, or?
I've been doing a lot more movie reactions lately. I just put up one for Extraction 1 because Extraction 2 comes out Friday, which I got to screen, so that was fun. Yeah, definitely check that out. I'm still covering Superman and Lois. I'll probably more than likely be checking out the Adventures of Superman show when that comes out because that looks real cute and fun. Secret Invasion, all that jazz. If it's Marvel, if it's DC, I've pretty much been up its Also, Star Wars. Those are my 3 pillars: is DC, Marvel, and Star Wars.
All right, there you go. And Darren, you got the pipeline going over on your channel, which is doing very well. Your live stream every week. What day is that on, and what time is it typically?
Whenever I'm not working, I guess is the right answer. But no, I've been having a great time just having so many other content creators on there. Look who arrived.
With a blank screen. But yeah, so maybe he's coming on here in a second. But yeah, check out Darren's channel, The Pipeline. And you're doing that with Taz, correct? Is that
yes.
Yeah. So if you enjoy their presence, go over and check that out. We did have a big super chat. So if anybody has to bail, I get it. But I'm gonna bring this up because it's a very generous super chat, and I'm very excited to read this out here because I think it's a great one. $49.99 super chat from Palatina here. Thank you so much for supporting. Buddy is in perpetual spinning mode, so we'll see what happens.
Because I'm right now. He's trying to.
Yeah. What a feat to span a 7-show narrative, Superman and Lois included. Okay. And have so many different fandoms, like the Queers had Supergirl, Legends, Batwoman, 3 network TV shows that probably never be a thing. That's still not a thing for Marvel. And that's true. And this is one of the reasons why it was such a big deal when Legends and Batwoman got canceled, because it wasn't like Supergirl where they were able to say, hey, we're going to wrap this up and we're going to give everybody their time. But Legends and Batwoman, Legends and Batwoman both went away having probably the bulk of queer representation on the CW on those 2 shows. Yeah. And you talk about like people obviously don't necessarily see diversity as being an important thing sometimes, but I believe when you have shows that encompass so much of that community in it, that you have to look at it that way. You have to sort of see it as that perspective of whether you're going to renew or cancel something. And I am grateful that they gave us that representation for the amount of time they did, but I'm not forgetting that they canceled them. So we're not going to forget that.
Yeah.
It's not like they would like cancel a show like that has a lot of queer representation on Pride Month, would they?
It was kind of a funny one. I heard they got canceled. I knew there was going to be headlines saying next star cancer's queer.
Yeah, for Gotham Knights, which Gotham Knights is also a show that I wanted to see, like possibly get a second season, because I thought it was good enough to warrant a second season. But I always believed it was going to be a one and done series, only because of the fact that I just didn't think it had enough push behind it from the network. Because I think the show was fine. Like, I think it's a very CW show. I think if the CW was not purchased by Nexstar, that show probably would have continued on for another season, most likely. And I also think that Legends and Batwoman probably would have gotten a final season, at least a 10-episode final season, if it would have been the other way around. But you're absolutely right, Paulatina. Thank you so much for this donation and chiming in on this and bringing this up because it does matter. And I do appreciate it. Anybody else want to add anything to that? Or
I was going to add, it's so that the chat doesn't think that we are missing it. Some big news did just drop.
What?
Do you mind if I add to that?
Yeah,
just like real quick.
Wait, is it out on? What did you say, Darren? I'm sorry. What, Darren,
I put it in a private chat.
Okay, all right. Let's see here.
Oh shit.
All right, okay. So what we're gonna do here is before we do this, because we're gonna have a live comment about this. I just want to bring up the last super chat here, and then we'll look at this article. Who has seen the Flash movie yet? I have seen it. Several other people have seen it, but I'm not gonna say anything about it on the stream, Robert, because I want to wait till Saturday. I will talk about it on the after party on Saturday, because I want to give people a chance to go see it, because there's way too many spoilers right now on social media, and I don't want to even contribute to that.
I've been so lucky not to have seen spoilers, but I figured out how to mute words on Twitter.
Avoid it the best you can. That's all I got to say. Like, it's all right. So here is what was sent to me. This is big news, and after this we will wrap this up here.
Okay. Shane's not telling everyone how to pose for the reaction.
Yeah, everybody do your face. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So Superman and Lois, Dylan Walsh and Emmanuel Chakri, I can never get her name right, among 7 cast members not returning. Michael Cudlett's promoted to regular for season 4. It says the CW Superman and Lois has set the returning cast for the recent picked up 10 episode 4th season, with 4 of the 12 season 3 series regulars coming back amid budget cuts, which I'm assuming the 4 are Clark, Lois, and the kids.
Yeah.
Departing is Dylan, Emmanuel, Airrick, Indy, Wole, Taylor, and Sophia are all leaving.
This is terrible.
Holy crap.
Oh my
This is not just a departing.
I imagine this would happen. So I'm not. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but
I didn't think that many of them would have.
I didn't either.
This was like the worst case scenario.
This is worst case scenario.
I'm so happy this came out soon again, because I got told on Monday night that this was going out. I'm like, oh no, this is bad. Thank God this is out.
Does this actually
it's really just the Kents? It's just the Kents, then, right? And
the Kents and Lex, I guess.
Yeah. Would the CGI suffer from this, or actually?
I think this is them trying. I think this is them trying to preserve the CGI, most likely, because
Kennedy Graham said that it may decrease maybe 5% to the point where maybe if you're not looking for it, you won't notice it. But if you're looking for it where it may look worse, you'll notice it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I want to say that my theory was, and this kind of leans more into that, is that they're leaving Smallville. 100%. There's no way you can cut this many members from the cast and stay in Smallville, because who are they going to associate with at that point? No one. So they're moving to Metropolis, and that's where the series is going to be set in season 4.
How are they going to write them off?
Yeah,
they'll just move. They'll just move.
There has to be some sort of pivotal story of them going to moving.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that we will probably get the first episode with them moving in Metropolis, and that's it. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah,
most likely.
I guess
any initial thoughts to this before we head out?
The big question here is it worth it to have Lex Luthor as a series regular if we're going to lose the rest of the cast that we've come to know on this show? I think that's an interesting trade-off.
It really depends on how Michael performs as Lex, and he's a great actor, so I have no question he's going to kill it as Lex. Yeah. But I personally don't think it's worth. But unfortunately, with their budget cuts and CW being very demanding on wanting to cut budget, they couldn't afford everybody.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Hopefully,
and Walsh was actually offered 3 episodes. His wife confirmed it on Instagram. So and he denied it.
And I'm assuming that everybody else was offered a few episodes, and they probably all declined. I think the article said that they're hoping that they could maybe
yes.
But I feel like we might see a few, but they're not going to appear often.
I think the ones that live close to Vancouver will probably do it, but people that have to travel a long distance are probably not going to.
It just makes me wonder how they're going to work around, because we know the episode counts have been reduced, but they take up a lot of the bulk of the downtime in the show.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a major restructuring on top of all of that.
This is just the beginning.
This storyline better be good.
Yeah.
And it's also not only that, but for example, as the Flash went on, Gant filmed less. He had more time off. So obviously, would that apply to these actors too? Yeah. But obviously, they're the only regulars. You have to have them in the whole thing.
All right. Well, we need to process that. This is sort of a knee-jerk reaction from us, but we'll process it and talk about it. We need to go. We need to wrap this up. We're already 35 minutes over. Lone Wolf of the $2 super chat with Arrowverse best finale. I'll say Arrow. I will not disagree with that. I think Arrow probably had the best finale. Any other choices? If so, we'll talk about it. But I think that everybody pretty much feels Arrow's finale was great. I don't think there's any
Legends
and
of
the worst
Tomorrow.
finale was season 9 of The Flash.
Yeah,
I think Stargirl was up there as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would say
Stargirl.
Stargirl.
If you count
Oh
Stargirl,
yeah,
yeah.
but I don't count
Stargirl.
Stargirl. So
It's not Arrowverse.
It's like Arrowverse
It
adjacent.
is Earth 2.
Yeah. Arrowverse. I love that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys have seen everybody. They're going to be linked in the description below. We will be doing more collabs as time goes on. So look forward to that. I'm sure with all the DC stuff coming out and all this drama with Superman and Lois, who knows what's going to happen at this point. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. And thank you to the Arrowverse for being a big part of all of our lives and our channels. And I will see everyone. My next live stream is Saturday. So see everybody at the after party and everybody else. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.